This is Jay Funkadelic, and welcome to the Funkable Operator Podcast, episode 37. This is me speaking because I could be a teacher if I need to be a teacher. From listening to all this hip-hop, from being ratchet and so on, when your music don't even sound right, when it's trash. You know what I'm talking about. You know how the elements are when you see people do drugs or maybe alcohol beverages, being so drunk all day that you die in your sleep like your liver's all messed up. Why would I know about the facts that you've been a problem ever since I even seen your ass? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know how I understand things in my head? Realizing that people just want to be themselves and they blame nothing but themselves. You know, people are going to be very rude in life. People are going to be violent. People are going to be sarcastic. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of shit in this world, people can cause a lot of problems. I've been to anger management. I've been here and I've been there and I've been everywhere. Just like I'm eating Dr. Seuss's green eggs and ham. How many of y'all remember Dr. Seuss's green eggs and ham? Y'all let me know about that. If you're really old school like me, you can join my live. I don't give a damn. If you don't want to be on my live, I don't really care. But somebody has to respect me like a goddamn man and do what I need to do in life and don't give a damn about nobody else. The Funkable Operator Podcast is a talk show. What I recommend is speaking about facts. The elements of hip-hop was created by the African Americans, the gang members, the Black Spades, and etc., from all the type of people from the South Bronx that was burnt down from looking like Iraq. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was watching documentaries about the South Bronx when hip-hop started back in 1973, when Cindy Campbell, Kool Herc's wife, had a hip-hop party after my parents got married. But they've been married for like 51 years. Don't you forget it. The only situation that I'm going through with hip-hop, I would listen to rap when I was born. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really know who the artist was because I never bought their magazines. I was watching the television screen, watching the music awards, this and that going on from the hip-hop flavor that I was watching from A Living Color and, Arsenio Hall and all these TV shows that I've been watching ever since I've been watching them as a kid, like Soul Train, American Bandstand, Solid Gold. How do y'all remember Solid Gold? Would you let me know if you remember that record, that hip-hop? No, it's not hip-hop, but it's a TV show called Solid Gold. It was, you remember that Michael Jackson performed on there years ago, and they had a grandma puppet named Madam. I remember the name Madam the puppet from Solid Gold. It was a lot of fun watching that back in the past. You know what I'm saying? They don't even come on TV anymore. How many of y'all think about the real reason that Solid Gold was a real good TV music show? Even if they had no YouTube, no Facebook, no social media, there was no hip-hop stations back in the past, back in the 80s. You know, I would turn on Hot 103 and listen to old school hip-hop all day long, from hip-hop and R&B and reggae. You know, the Red Wine song was a good record. And there's a lot of situations I'm going through with people not being harassed or be disrespecting me if I try to rap on the mic and getting my bars up. The only rapper I'm going to battle, if I try to battle somebody, it would be Gorilla Nems. Because I remember back last year when I went to Bushwick, Brooklyn, when he performed, I had to answer him and put him in his place. I didn't deserve to get disrespected by Gorilla Nems. And he had no right to call me the pussy. You know what I'm saying? He had no right to be saying that to me. But I know I would never shake his hand. I would never try to take another photo with him because I know the fact that he became the enemy that I think he's kind of jealous. I don't know. But I was only breaking his balls. I didn't mean to talk shit about him on Instagram. I didn't mean to do it. And if I did, then I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to like OD and like slash out on me like he did last year, but I really didn't give a shit about it. I was talking to some people on Shade 45, but I wasn't even really there. I was at a hip-hop event, and I was telling people, Grill Mims called me a pussy. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't really with that shit. It's not that I'm afraid to go talk to Grill and Mims. The only thing I'm going to do is go to a rap battle, get signed, and just like rap battle this out. But I don't really give a fuck about battling him. But I will do it. Even if it comes up, I'll put him in a cypher. We can battle this out. People can put it on any platform, YouTube, anything. We can take it outside and do an MC battle, and the whole crowd could watch. The whole crowd could watch me spit to destroy his career. Straight up. Straight up OG is me. The Italian OG is J Funkadelic. I'm not original gangster. Don't ever call me that. You know, I'm not no gangster. I'm a rapper, not no gangster. You don't want to be a gangster in hip-hop. A lot of people be using that word gangster in hip-hop because nobody in hip-hop was a gangster. That's false. It's not true. If you was a gangster in hip-hop, you know, you would get locked up. You would deal with the feds. You know what I'm saying? You would be detained by the police. You know what I'm saying? You would really be detained by the police and the FBI and the CIA. You know, you would be on that other level of yourself that you become a fucking criminal. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm saying about you becoming a criminal? Even if the justice was served in the courtroom, that some of these rappers that do music videos and they pull out their guns thinking they're real, you know, cops be like taking advantage of you, looking to hurt you or beat you down because you listen to this trap music. You want to shoot videos by bodega stores and thinking you're the man and doing all this crazy stuff from the Illuminati. You know what I'm talking about, right? At least senior citizens don't want you to do a music video if you're around a rock in a hard place. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? This is real life. This is what we call life. You know what I'm saying? We live in a messed up world. And don't really forget about how people treat you or what they say or how they feel or what they are hell are they talking about. Some of these rappers that I've been hearing, they be rapping mad fast. And most of the times, I wouldn't even understand what they're saying on the mic. You know, you're rapping mad fast. And how people are going to understand you, maybe you could slow it down, slow the flow down, so they can really understand what the hell you're saying. You know the vibes that I'm putting myself into for hip-hop from the ground up, not from the bottom. The bottom was the Grandmaster Caz's and the Melly Mel's and the Disco King Mario's and the Jazzy J's and the cool DJ Red Alerts and the Cool Hercs and the DJ Chuck Chillouts that made hip-hop popular, especially my homeboy from Queensbridge, DJ Molly Mall, In Control, Rap Show. I remember that from BLS. We all listen to hip-hop, man. We all love it. From the journey, from going here, there, everywhere. Hip-hop is all over the world now. Hip-hop took all over the world. But if you want to be hip-hop, it's peace, love, unity, and having fun. It's not to be acting like you want to pull out a gun and shoot someone and take your ass for granted and being locked up in prison and you gotta like eat the garbage that they make in jail. You know, that shit is really played out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't respect hip-hop and don't know how to fucking treat it. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? This is the podcast. You understand how I'm feeling about a situation like this. How I get grimy enough to get really tough in the rap game, doing what you need to do and stop all the violence. You know what I'm saying? The violence never stop. I'll be hearing it on the news every now and then. You know? You know what I'm talking about. I've been watching the news every now and then about, they keep talking about Donald Trump. They keep talking about COVID. But 5 years later, the COVID went away because everybody got vaccinated. I know y'all know that for a fact, not an opinion. You know what I'm saying on this podcast. You know what I'm talking about. You know how realistic this shit could be in life. You know what I'm saying? The Black Spades, and they used to be like the gang members from the African Bambala Zulu Nation that started hip hop. It wasn't from a couple of gangs, but these days, the only way you can be in the rap industry getting signed from the Bloods and Crips, from every coast, from east and west. Don't give a shit if you're in the dirty South or you're in Houston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit that I recommended for what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to be annoying or be disrespectful or be rude. I'm just getting my point across because I'm expressing myself how I really feel. You know what I'm saying on this podcast? That I really got it made. Not like I'm like Special Ed or like Teddy Ted or Special K from the Austin 2. All these gang members, want to be down with hip hop, and also the Bloods and Crips were looking to put you on, get your record deal, get that bread. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the early 70s, there was no access to making money in hip hop. There was only graffiti, MCing, beatboxing, DJing, and understanding, known by saying it like this. KRS-One's words. Rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. Because mumble rap you should not do. I'm just sick and tired of listening to Hot 97 because I turned that shit off. The only way I can be at a Hot 97 concert is go to Summer Jam. Because Summer Jam brings back a lot of memories with the old school hip hop artists that be touching the stage. Why would Redman and Method Man want to perform at Summer Jam? How y'all realize that Redman and Method Man are good rappers? How many of y'all like the Migos? I don't like the Migos. I'm not even a fan of the Migos. Well, rest in peace to Takeoff. My condolences. I'm not trying to disrespect Takeoff. I know he's dead in his grave. But the other Migo people, the other Migos rappers like Offset and Quavo, I don't really respect them people that too much. And I'm not asking for no photos or nothing. I respect Lil Wayne, but I'm not really feeling his music. I respect a lot of rappers that have a record deal, got signed to a contract. I remember when Fat Joe, right, before he was famous, Chris Slotty gave him a contract and signed the contract in the street by the Apollo Theater on 125th Street in Harlem. How many of y'all remember that when Fat Joe couldn't stop winning? He kept on winning, and Chris Slotty got the wind of what he was rapping about when he came out with that demo, handed to Red Alert, saying, "You gotta flow, Joe. You gotta flow, Joe." How many of y'all remember that? How many of y'all be thinking about Fat Joe becoming a real rapper? Even if, you know what I'm saying, I like the old Fat Joe when he was a little overweight. Not when he was like 400 pounds, but rest in peace to Big Pun. You know what I'm saying? I understand he didn't put Chris Rivers on. I don't know. He didn't put Big Pun's son on the concert back a couple of years back with Radio City Music Hall and doing that loud 25th anniversary concert. And Liza Rios, told Chris Rivers he couldn't perform with Fat Joe. There was reasons why Liza Rios doesn't like Fat Joe. Because I know he stole Big Pun's money, stole Big Pun's rhyme book. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit that been going on with Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? People are just going to be crazy in life. Nobody's perfect. No one has no power but God. Okay? Money could be power. You don't pay for anything. You're the one that gets arrested and gets detained and get locked up. You kill somebody, they're going to put you in custody regardless. The cops will find you. There's security cameras all over the world right now from block to block to block to block. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get caught. The cop's going to make an investigation that you killed someone, and you're the one that's going to serve time. You do the crime, you're going to do the time. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of people want to be faking the funk on reality. You know what I'm saying? Because people just don't get it. These young kids like to be crazy. They like to act real dumb, stupid, hanging out with these Bloods and Crips. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be part of that gang member bullshit. You're part of a gang, hell with you. I'm not down with you. The bullet's out of your gun, you're lost in the system. And that's final. You know what I'm saying? Have a nice day. You know, that's what you gotta tell them. You tell them to go F themselves. You really gotta understand people are not pulling up with no bull crap from anybody in the street. You get robbed. Sometimes people on the train acting crazy. And I'll be seeing these crackheads ask you for money on the train. Even when they're near the cops are gonna like talk to you. You know, there's no begging. I remember I was on the number 12 bus. There was a crackhead asked somebody for money. And the bus driver said, "Oh, there's no begging. I'll call the police." You know what I'm saying? You can't be asking people for money on the bus. That's something you can't do. The only way you can break out of asking people for money is fill out a lot of applications all over the world. And wait till they call you. Then you get that job. Then you get your money. You know what I'm saying? That's how life is going to work. I always tell these crackheads all the time, if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't work, you don't eat. Plain and simple. Most people are starving out there. You know what I'm saying? Most people are rich and most people are broke. It's all around the world. What goes around comes around. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be saying that. What goes around comes around. Rest in peace, shout out to Bismarck E. that did that record back in 1991 when he did that album, I Need a Haircut. But I need a haircut myself also. Because I'm going to get my head shaved like in a little bit. But this is the podcast that I recommended from being who the hell I am nowadays. You know what I'm talking about. I'll get realistic about a lot of shit that comes in my mind. Thinking I want to be a rapper. Think I want to perform at the arena instead of a bar and lounge. You know what I'm saying? I like to perform in arenas. I like to have my own hip-hop concert. But it never happens. I don't know who I'm going to get in touch with. I like to do music videos, but I ain't got the money for it. The money's got to flow. The cash got to come in. When I work and get paid, maybe I can want to do a music video from the next record that I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Get to the point when I'm saying. Because I could drop some knowledge and wisdom for the only situation not being grounded by listening to hip-hop. I was grounded listening to hip-hop when I was in middle school. I had bought all the cassette tapes. And I was playing all this real hip-hop stuff, but it had a little profanity in it, and people wasn't even feeling it. You know what I'm saying? When the FCC is watching you play a filthy record, you can't even play it. You got to play it on a line station or something. You can't play it on local radio because the FCC is watching. They know what you're doing. Some of these whack producers don't know how to make a right beat. It sounds kind of corny, and you don't know how to flow properly in the booth. That be happening nowadays. You know what I'm saying? All these rappers that come out and get a record deal and don't know how to rhyme right, they absolutely suck. You know what I'm saying? The time being, hip-hop is a culture. I know KRS-One owns the temple of hip-hop because I remember when my boy Ralphie from GNR, we had a FaceTime talk with KRS-One. And the FaceTime call was legendary. It wasn't his number. It was Ralphie Boy's number. He FaceTimed me, and I was rapping KRS-One. I was blessed to talk to the hip-hop god. You know what I'm saying? Talking to a mentor like that gets you very excited. You would be very excited if you would talk to Ralphie and KRS-One at the same damn time. You know, I had to show and prove what I had to do to bust some lyrics to the brother. And he loved it. He did the Ric Flair sound. So every time a rapper could spit so goddamn nice, they do that Ric Flair woo sound. I'll be hearing it all the time, the woo sound from Ric Flair. And a lot of people be using that. Shout out to my boy Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest wrestlers that ever lived. You want to disrespect Ric Flair. You want to disrespect Hulk Hogan. You're not a wrestling legend fan. You're not. I know people are mad because they couldn't see Hulk Hogan. I know people are upset because they waited a long line from the Valley malls that they go to, from ShopRite, meeting the Hulkster in person, waiting for hours. He went to use the bathroom, and all of a sudden he took off. You recommend that, Hulk Hogan is one of the toughest guys in wrestling, but I know for a fact he couldn't even wrestle anymore. But I remember back in the early 80s when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. How many of y'all remember that? Hulk Hogan's a cultural icon in the wrestling business. That's why he changed the name from WWF to the WWE. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people got to respect, the wrestling bitches when the fans take wrestling too far. They get excited. They get overwhelmed. They record shit. And to security and the bodyguards kick them out. For that type of reason. I remember when I went to Monday Night Raw back in 2020, before the pandemic hit. I remember being at Monday Night Raw, and I had a nice time. I just had a nice time being there, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself, but I didn't know none of these new wrestlers that was out. When the wrestling show started, they had Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre, performing, and Brock Lesnar got his ass beat by Drew McIntyre. But it wasn't even a real match. It was only a soap opera fighting situation. Wrestling is like a script and a soap opera. Y'all know that? You know how I feel about watching wrestling? Because wrestling, the WWF Attitude Era was good when they had Stone Cold Steve Austin, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. They had Sable, they had the Cat, they had Chyna, Triple H, etc. Even The Godfather when he had the Ho Train. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people love wrestling and a lot of people like hip-hop. Did they even like both of it? Hip-hop and wrestling to me is like this. Cross-faded together. It's one. You know what I'm saying? I like the golden era of wrestling. I like the golden era of hip-hop. That shit will never die. You know what I'm saying? Legends never die. A lot of people be saying that because even if you're alive or dead, legends never die. They become immortal. You know that? They become really immortal like Hulk Hogan. I was not even feeling that wrestler John Cena. He became a Hollywood movie star. When John Cena came out in 2002 on SmackDown, he was trying to be a rapper, making himself the doctor of thugonomics. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying word life. You know what I'm saying? He stole that from a rapper, OC, off his album Word Life. You know what I'm saying? He stole that from OC. The one that did Time's Up, that underground hip-hop record that I heard on DJ Premier back in the day on the Thunderstorm on BLS. You know what I'm saying? I remember hearing that. I remember thinking about, hearing, the MOP record, The Time Is Now. I had the John Cena CD. But nowadays, I'm not really feeling John Cena. The only thing I like when John Cena used to rhyme. You know what I'm saying? He never came out with nothing. His rap career fell off, and his wrestling shit got even better from the time up from being who the hell he is. You know what I'm saying? I respect bodybuilders like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying? I love those guys, but I never met them in person. They're getting old. I got mad love for 50 Cent. I don't have no beef with 50 Cent or Ja Rule. That shit does not involve me. You know what I'm saying? The Fat Joe and Cuban Link beef does not involve me. I'm sorry about when I said that, but it's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I got no beef in hip-hop with any rapper, except Gorilla Nems. He called me a pussy in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and I really didn't accept the fact that he said something like that. But let's move on. Forget about what he said about what he called me in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I'm going to put that to the side. I'm ignoring it. I'm not going to go to no more of his events because I know he's a cucumber sucker. You know what I'm saying? All these rappers don't really give a fuck about me. They don't know me. They don't want to recognize me in the game. The security don't know me, and I'm thinking about all these motherfuckers that want to be fucked up perpetrators. Sorry I stuttered. But I'm taking my time when I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm Jay Funkadelic, the Funkable operator. The reason I got that Jay Funkadelic name is when I sampled the Batman with the funk and the villain, and I put it all together. I gave one birth to a hip-hop rapper, Ricky Batts. I didn't know him till I met him at Vic's Music Hut when he performed. Ricky Batts is my man. But I'm not, but I represent that Dark Knight Funkville logo type of shit. You know what I'm saying? From the realizing that I am the truth in hip-hop for listening to positive messages, facts. Y'all motherfuckers don't listen to my music. You're not even feeling it. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with y'all. You know what I'm saying? People are just going to worry about themselves. A lot of people got other good taste in hip-hop. People got different tastes. You know what I'm talking about. You know how I feel about the situation with people that don't really recognize what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to be annoying. I keep telling you this. You don't have to tell me to shut the hell up or nothing. I'm just telling my facts about real shit that be popping in people's minds. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't respect, the rap culture like they used to back in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? When the 20 teens of hip-hop came out, there was all like ice, bling, jewelry, money, girls. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have that back in the day. They had graffiti, DJing, MCing, beatboxing, overstanding, something like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I would listen to a lot of KRS-One more than Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like for a fact, I would listen to more KRS-One and no Drake. I'm not really feeling Drake. I'm not really feeling his music. His music absolutely sucks. There's a couple of songs I like from Drake, but not all of them, man. Because Drake doesn't not wild out on the mic. He doesn't do it better than KRS. He's not really realistic like KRS-One is. When KRS-One gets on the mic, he keeps me all hyped up. I'm waiting to go to another Public Enemy concert. They're going to happen in New York City. I don't know when, but they have to make a tour date from New York. And I will tell my mother to get me tickets to go see Public Enemy in concert. I would want to go. That would be a hell yeah. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin would say. Oh, hell yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right? Public Enemy is one of the people and the consciousness of hip-hop music. That hip-hop group made me who I am today. And they're in my realistic top 5. You know what I'm talking about? Here is my top 5 list of all these rappers. It's Airbnb and Rakim, Boogie Down Productions, LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane with Cool G Rap, Public Enemy, and LL Cool J. All those rappers inspired who I am today in the hip hop industry. If it wasn't for those guys, I would never been rapping. I would never been DJing. I would never been MCing. I would never write no rhymes with no paper pad or pencil. You know what I'm saying? I write my rhymes neat, but every time I write a rhyme, if I'm gonna rhyme with something, you always gotta write a comma when you want to rhyme. You always gotta write down a comma when you hit one bar. Make a comma, second bar, comma, third bar, comma, fourth bar, comma. All these rappers got commas. The other side of the paper, you draw a line. You draw a line in the middle of the piece of paper. You write rhymes on the top with the commas, on the bottom with all the commas. You know what I'm saying? A real hip hop man does this thing. He spits the fire in the booth when there's a lot of light, camera, and action on his ass. You know what I'm talking about? All right, this is Jay Funkadelic. This is the Funkable Operator Podcast, episode 37. And I'm going to holler at you on the next one. Peace.